It's the newest phenomenon in the suburbs, struggling in plain sight. Hello, I'm Kathy Laren on this edition of Focus, a disturbing trend that is impacting Cincinnati and other suburban areas across the country. In recent years, although things may look normal from the outside, in Cincinnati alone, there has been an 83% increase in the suburban poverty rate. In short, our friends and neighbors are struggling in plain sight. For those facing a loss of income, there is the constant fear of falling behind in house payments, leading to a possible foreclosure. What can you do now to lessen the odds of losing your home? Our guest today can help answer some of the most common questions about facing foreclosure. Rick Williams is President and CEO of the Homeownership Center of Greater Cincinnati. Stephanie Casey Pierce is Director of Homeownership Preservation at the Ohio Housing Finance Agency. And Sheila Cottle is a council member for the City of Forest Park. Thank you all for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rick, if you would kind of give us an assessment of what the foreclosure situation is like in Cincinnati as we speak today.
It's interesting as foreclosures are actually dropping nationally, and in our area they're continuing to escalate. And so that unfortunate circumstance has so many of us thinking that, oh, things are getting better because it's the national news that presents most often, that real estate markets are better, foreclosures are dropping, but in our community it's not true. So we're trying to do all that we can to get the word out that if you're struggling, there are still programs to help you with that struggle.
So it's interesting to know because locally home sales are also up and you would think, well, okay,
Yes.
maybe things are turning around. Who would you say is most at risk today? And is it different than the person that might have been at risk a couple of years ago?
Absolutely. We've seen shifts in the demographics of the customers throughout this crisis. And originally, they were homeowners who were victims of predatory lending. We haven't seen that in many years. Then the economy took over and unemployment became the primary reason. And now it's really still unemployment, but the geography has changed. And what we're seeing now are more very high-income families previously who are now struggling to pay their mortgage. We're seeing more of this crisis in the suburbs of Cincinnati than we see that in the actual city limits.
Do you think most people would be surprised at the number of people that live on their block that might be having these kinds of problems?
Absolutely. This has always been, from the beginning, a crisis where victims feel responsible when they really aren't. And so with that comes embarrassment. And so with that comes a presentation that life is really normal, that families are presenting when it is not. And it is why we originally began the foreclosure prevention Phoneathons that we created, because we would have open venue events and no one would show up, but we would still have 100 to 150 foreclosures a week during the peak of the crisis. So we knew that people were hiding, and so we had to come up with a way to get people to understand, not your fault, get others to understand if it's happening to your family or neighbors, get them assistance.
Why do you think it's maybe more difficult in Cincinnati today in terms of the foreclosure situation than it is in maybe some other cities? What about this city is making it tougher and having more of these individuals at risk?
You know, I'm not quite sure if it's you know, like any city fact, any statistic, it varies location to location. I think what we're experiencing is a Midwest thing, not a Cincinnati thing. And in the areas of the country where manufacturing was high, then we are experiencing this issue more than other parts of the country. As the economy rebounds, as real estate rebounds, if you look at the real statistics and break them down, it's not really happening from the standpoint of employment to the levels of employment that we used to experience. And the industries that supported that experience are not showing a rebound. This is new industries. This is more intellectual. This is not as manufacturing as it used to be. So it's lasting a lot longer for us, and it's starting to extend beyond just the city limits.
Stephanie, when do you know it's time to ask for help?
You know, as soon as you feel like you can't make that next mortgage payment, and sometimes even sooner than that. So it might be the day that you get that layoff notice. You know that's going to have an impact on your financial situation. You're going to start feeling that very early. So we've had some homeowners who have called in and asked for help right away as soon as they apply for their unemployment benefits, and those are the really smart homeowners because they are taking action to get in front of the situation as early as possible. But certainly, you know, some people may feel like, well, I'm going to get my job pretty quick. I'll find something else, and I have some savings that I can dip into. And so it's just really something that you have to monitor very closely and make the best decision for your family, but it's always better to act earlier. And if you can, make that phone call before you miss that first mortgage payment. But certainly we have people who come to us in all stages, so I wouldn't ever discourage somebody from making that call. If you've missed the mortgage payment, if you've already gotten the foreclosure summons, there's never a bad time to call.
I know we've talked before about individuals perhaps trying to bury their head in the sand and pretend it's not happening, about getting these notes from the bank, these letters, and they remain unopened.
Oh yes. I think that there's a lot of people who want to pretend that it's not happening and, you know, think if I just put that aside, if I don't answer my phone, if I ignore it, then maybe it'll just resolve itself, or they're holding out hope that that next job's going to come along, or maybe I'm going to get a raise at work and things are going to get better. It's just not a good position to put yourself in. The larger that delinquency gets, the fewer options you have for curing it, and there is help out there, so there's really no good reason to sit around and wait and let the problem grow.
I would imagine you see all stages, people coming in at all stages, like you just mentioned,
yes.
like getting the layoff notice. Does it ever happen that they come in like, oh my goodness, there's going to be a sheriff's sale right around the corner?
All the time.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. And we do what we can. But, you know, I think that's a big lesson for folks is we do get people who will walk into Rick's office a week before the sheriff's sale is scheduled, and they'll do everything that they can at that point to get an application put together, to send it over to Save the Dream Ohio. And we will try to get assistance out if we can, but at that point, there's a lot of people involved, so you have to go to the lender and ask for permission. They have to contact their attorney and say, hey, can you stop the sale if we take the funds? The court has their own deadlines that have to be adhered to, so when people wait to the 11th hour like that, they really are putting themselves in a tenuous position where even if Rick and I work our hardest to do what we can, there's no guarantee.
Sheila, I noticed you shaking your head as I was talking to Rick and Stephanie about this. It's a very real situation that happened to you.
Yes, I've been there, done that, and worn the t-shirt, probably the sweatshirt. But I'd like to thank my son Stephen for being here today because Stephen's in college, living at home at this point, and I said, I've been asked to do this, but I don't know what I would really have to offer. He says, oh, Mom, you've lived here for 37 years. You're on Forest Park City Council. You're on the block watch. You do Citizens on Patrol. You've given and given. People will hear what you have to say. And I said, you know, Stephen, I think you're right because I've helped other people when I hear this. And a friend helped me. I worked at a hospital here in Cincinnati, and within 30 days I was notified I lost my job. And it was devastating. I looked for 3 years, and I'm thinking, I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for 38 years, and I can't get a job. I couldn't get a job. And then a friend said, Sheila, I want you to call this number. Called the number, spoke with the director. They had Barry and I in, and it's just an absolutely wonderful organization, and I can't thank them enough for helping us save it. We've been in our house 37 years, and you think, and really all you have is your home and probably your car. Well, your health is most important, but
sure, your
home and your car and your family, where do you go? And if you try to get an apartment, how much money is it get an apartment? $3,000, $4,000 just to get an apartment. And so it was devastating. But I'm so thankful that we are where we are at this point. I'm semi-retired, so is my husband. We're in our mid-60s to late 60s, and we're still struggling, and we probably will continue to struggle.
It's the new face of our economy today.
Absolutely.
What is your best advice to somebody that's facing a situation just like Sheila has faced? Maybe they've gotten a notice that they're about to be laid off. What do you do?
It's interesting, all of the things that goes through the head of a homeowner who finds themselves in that situation. I've had many conversations where there's a homeowner who could say, I won't do that. I will not ask for help for this. I can take care of this myself. It's difficult to try to convince homeowners often that you deserve this. This is a program for you. And in many cases, you have funded it in some way when you were working. You deserve this. This is a way for you to help your family and your neighbor and everyone else in the community that is impacted by a foreclosure. And so that's an important point to make. Another important point to make is that, again, the sooner you do this, the better. More options are available to you now than there were in the past. There are many who have maybe tried this program and were not eligible, and they don't know that they could be eligible now. Okay. There are others who may remember the days when the banks forced you to be delinquent before you were eligible for assistance programs. Mm-hmm. Those days are gone also. So there's so many things that the whole industry has learned about the best way to save neighborhoods and communities from the impact of foreclosures that now can help families individually.
We've all heard about Save the Dream Ohio, but I guess until you really need it, you don't really take that deeper dive to find out what it's all about. Help us out.
Right, so Save the Dream Ohio launched actually in 2008, but in 2010 we were able to bring in over $570 million to the state of Ohio to fund the program, which then allowed us to do something that was revolutionary, which is getting real dollar assistance to homeowners, and there had been nothing like that previously. So this was huge. So in 2010, in September, we launched several new programs under the Save the Dream Ohio umbrella. One program brings delinquent homeowners current. Another helps unemployed and underemployed homeowners make their mortgage payment for up to 18 months. We have a program for people who have lower value properties who are just this close to paying it off, and we can actually help eliminate that lien forever. We also offer transition assistance for people who just say, you know what, I recognize that I can no longer afford this home. I would like to try an alternative like a short sale or a deed in lieu so I can gracefully exit rather than having to go through the foreclosure process. So we have a number of different ways that we can assist people. Another big program that we have been working on this year is called Modification with Contribution Assistance, and we can offer up to $35,000 to help somebody pay down principal balance on their loan and then re-amortize so they ultimately have a lower payment. So there are a number of options, and that's why Save the Dream Ohio works with 36 housing counseling agencies like the Homeownership Center of Cincinnati, where we can connect people with HUD certified counselors who can then help homeowner figure out all these options, which pieces fit together, what's the best one for me. How do I navigate that? That's what the counselor is for. So these are trusted professionals, and it's worked really well. We have funded over 12,000 homeowners to date, and many of them are right here in Cincinnati.
So you think, Sheila, you're listening to their statistics. How do you get the message out to an individual that might think that they're on their own? And they
one thing that Rick said that I want to emphasize, and that is, I'm a nurse. My husband's worked in sales. He's been working since he was 7 in a paper route and has always had a job or was in the Air Force for a four-year period. I was a nurse. I always worked. I started working when I was maybe 15 at a little store in Huntington, West Virginia. And what I realized is it's true. We have worked really hard, and we also have, all of us have put into fundings with our taxes, with contributions, And it's okay to say, I need some help now. Really hard thing for me to do. And my husband is so supportive, and he said, let's do this, Sheila. We've worked really hard. And think of what we've paid in over the years. You know, Barry, you're right. I love you. Exactly. And so we took the steps, and I'm so thankful for Barry's encouragement and for the homeownership encouragement and the staff there. Because they made me feel like you may have this. You put into this, this is yours. And I really appreciate that. And I want other people that are struggling to know they've worked really hard and they do have a right to ask for help. And it's okay. We all need to do that.
Help is out there. You've got a Phoneathon coming up in October, Rick. Tell me about it.
Yes, we do. We have another Phoneathon October 9th. And this one will be located here. So we'll have the visual at CET again. And this is, again, an opportunity for homeowners who are struggling to, with the convenience of a phone call, actually begin this process.
Rick, would you put me on the list to help with your Phoneathon?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Number one, I want to be there, and I'm sure my husband Barry will want to do that too. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Want to help.
And it is again a great opportunity to begin the process with a phone call, and we also can answer questions and explain the process. And it is an important thing to understand, and one of the reasons we emphasize calling early when you see that you may end up in a struggle, that the process is not an overnight decision. We have really saved a lot of homes from a sheriff's sale when it's already scheduled. At our last event, we had double-digit numbers of homeowners who called and had a sheriff's sale within 2 weeks. Wow. And we have been able to turn them around because we just know now how to get in touch with the lenders and do that rather quickly. But it is just not the ideal situation because, as Stephanie said, your options become limited. There's a lot more options when you have that time allotted. So we want to encourage everyone within the listening area of the event that there's a program for you. Our state, as well as Kentucky and Indiana, have programs like this because, again, the Midwest really was influenced by this crisis. So it's absolutely worth the phone call to begin the process.
What's the most common question people ask, or the most common, Stephanie?
Oh, the most common question. We get asked a lot about eligibility. So am I going to be eligible for this program? We're talking about it. It sounds great. It's probably not going to work for me, right? That's probably what's going through a lot of people's minds. We really expanded eligibility quite a bit in this past year. So the income limit is now $112,375. The limit on the first mortgage lien is over $400,000. Really what we're looking for is, does the homeowner have a financial hardship of some sort related to their income? So have they been unemployed? Did they experience a loss of income? We also look at significant medical bills. So if somebody thinks that they might fall into that category, we have a really simple tool to help you figure out if you might be eligible. On our website, which is www.savethedream.ohio.gov, there's a pre-screening tool. You can just click on, am I eligible? And you can answer 8 simple questions. And at the end of that tool, if you are likely to be eligible, you get an authorization code that allows you to go online and complete our full application. But if somebody just wants to read about it, say they don't want to take that step and answer the questions, we also have all the information on our website about all of our eligibility guidelines, so that you can really go on there and figure it out. So don't assume that you're not eligible would be a big message I'd want to get out to folks.
And another point, if you're not eligible for this, it is still worthwhile to give us a call because we're often able to work with your lender, and lenders often have separate programs from this one that can actually change your situation.
I think it's also important that the homeowner realizes that with any assistance, there's paperwork. So just be patient. And I really found that the counselors at the Cincinnati Homeowners group did help us with that. And I said, well, I thought I gave us that. Well, we're in this time frame and we need this. But that they guided us, they helped us, they encouraged us. So you will have paperwork, but you'll get the help from the counselor. And I really appreciated that we received all of that, and even settled me down when I didn't have a lot of patience for another thing. It's okay. we can get this done. And okay, we'll bring it down, or you can fax it, whichever's best. Okay, I'll fax it. I don't have the gas money. So I really appreciated all the things that were offered us.
When it comes to materials that you should have readily available, what are we looking at?
A copy of your mortgage statement
Okay.
is really important when you make the call. Information about your mortgage insurance, your home insurance, taxes, your pay stubs of whatever is your income. If you're on Social Security, if you're receiving unemployment, whatever's the source of your income, we need information about that. Other than that, you should be okay with the initial phone call. But, as Sheila said,
there's a lot of paperwork.
When you get into the process, there is a lot of paperwork, and it has to be dated in a certain way when it's being reviewed. So, and each review triggers additional paperwork.
So this is not an overnight process.
It is not an overnight process.
But it's well worth it.
It's absolutely well worth it.
To be able to keep your home.
What are we talking about? So you come in, you start filling out the paperwork. How long of a process can this be? Is there any?
It can actually be 6 months.
Okay.
It depends on who your lender is. There's how they process internally. It depends on how long it takes for the homeowner to actually get all of their information together. So those things impact a lot of the timing.
Stephanie, what's new? Where are we going from here?
Well, like I mentioned, this year we launched a program that's designed to help people reduce their mortgage payment long term by re-amortizing their loans. We have the $35,000. So that's a big one that we have been pushing. Not every lender is participating in that program right now, so that's important for folks to know, but we're really working on trying to expand it because it's faster and quicker than the traditional loan modification. And there are some loan modifications where after so many years your interest rate goes back up. Right. In this case, your mortgage payment is going to stay at that lower level because it's a re-amortization. So I think that that's really important. We are starting to see more people coming to us who are saying, you know, I'd really like to just try a short sale or a deed in lieu. It's really time for me to accept that I cannot truly afford this home long term. So we're seeing a lot more of those coming through the door. We're also doing some other newer initiatives where we're looking at demolishing vacant homes in neighborhoods that have been hard hit by foreclosure. So that's a very new thing that we're looking at doing with this program.
And Forest Park is one of those suburb cities that's had major foreclosures. It's really sad.
It certainly is. What are you looking into that crystal ball, Rick? What do you foresee in the future, the next year ahead?
What I hope to see are more homeowners who understand that there's help available and they go through whatever process is available to them. I think that that is one of the best ways to help themselves and their community that they live in. Sheila's right, there's have been some devastating numbers in Forest Park, devastating numbers. A lot of the early foreclosures that were about predatory lending impacted Forest Park heavily, and then the economy added to that. The degree to which each homeowner understands that when they do this, they're helping themselves and their neighbor and the community at large, that is an important thing to understand, and it'll help us to collectively look at that future, that crystal ball over the next year. And it doesn't have to be as bleak as it could be if we all pitch in with the responsibility of helping each other through it.
Let's circle back to talk a little bit more about the Phoneathon one more time. The date of the Phoneathon?
It's October 9th.
And the hours?
And the hours will be probably 6 a.m. It will begin. You can start to make the call, and we'll give the details of that later. Okay. And it'll last at least through 8 o'clock in the evening.
And who's eligible to call? Who should call?
Anyone. Anyone who hears about this should call that number, and then we'll be able to refer you. In the events we've had in the past, we've actually had many residents of this area contact relatives in other states and say, call this number, and we receive them, but we're able to connect you with an organization in that area. So we just encourage, if you hear about this and you know of someone or you're in this situation, it's just important to call and we can guide you.
And one more time, Sheila, from your perspective, why is it important to make that call, to make the contact with these housing counselors to save your dream?
That first step saves your dream. Making the call, getting it to happen, and getting the help that you need. And realize everyone deserves the help. Everyone.
Stephanie, lots of resources online as well.
Oh yes, our website's www.savethedream.ohio.gov. We have information on eligibility, we have our pre-screening tool, the application is online. So if somebody is web savvy and they want to go ahead and get started today, they can absolutely do that. We've got all the tools available, information about the program guidelines and how each of those individual programs works, list of the housing counseling agencies. So if somebody's watching this, maybe they're in from out of town and they say, well, I actually live up in Cleveland, who can serve me up there? We've got a list of agencies up there as well.
And if you don't have internet, and many people don't, go to your public library.
Mm-hmm.
The public library will help you, and there's an internet there for you to do this process.
Rick, Stephanie, Sheila, thank you so much for sharing great information today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For free foreclosure prevention help from the Homeownership Center of Greater Cincinnati, please visit their website at buzzusnow.org. You may also call them at 1-877-7-BUZZ-US. To watch this and other Focus episodes again on demand, you can do so at our website, cetconnect.org/focus. Thank you for watching. I'm Kathy Laren. We'll see you next time right here on Focus.
Tell us what you think about the programs we air, or let us know if you would like to see a particular topic on Focus. There are several ways you can contact us. You can send your comments by email to focus@cetconnect.org. You can call us at 513-345-6522. Or you can write to us at Focus, care of Andrew Dahman, 1223 Central Parkway, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45214. Any use or rebroadcast of this copyrighted program or portions thereof is prohibited without the expressed written approval of CET.